Her protective suit was accidentally punctured by a sharp spike on the shield plate. If the human body remains exposed to a vacuum for too long, the lungs can expand from the pressure difference and potentially explode. Everyone at the ground space center went into panic. Her teammate quickly instructed her to stay completely still. Then he carefully cut away the pieces of sharp metal before the oxygen inside her suit could rapidly escape. Mir rushed to escort the crew member back into the space station. Just as Mir finally brought his teammate safely into the capsule, he suddenly froze after seeing a strange, fantastical beam of light. He forgot to close the station hatch, leaving his teammate completely exposed to danger. The woman almost died because of Mir's mistake. The director of the space center questioned Mir. He demanded to know what Mir saw that caused him to forget protocol. Mir stated that he had seen an extraterrestrial being. The leaders did not believe him at all. They assumed he was hallucinating, so they decided to remove him from future space missions. But not long after, the Soviet Salyut 7 space station suddenly stopped functioning. If the station remained inactive for too long, it would eventually fall back to Earth. And if it crashed into a populated area, the consequences would be unimaginable. To avoid becoming a laughingstock to Western countries, the Soviet Union decided to send cosmonauts to repair the station. If the repair failed, they would need to destroy it with a missile. But doing so would create a massive amount of debris. Those fragments would eventually destroy satellites in orbit, and it could set their space program back by at least 10 years. So they searched for the most experienced cosmonauts and began practicing docking with the simulator. Because the station was spinning on two axes, with an angular velocity of 1 degree per second, manual docking was extremely difficult. Many cosmonauts attempted repeatedly but failed every time. Even the commander himself could not accomplish it. So he turned once again to the retired Mir, hoping he would risk docking the spacecraft and carrying out the repair. And so Mir boarded the spacecraft along with his partner Victor. He even hoped to witness that mysterious glow again. Once the boosters detached, they entered outer space. Mir had only 3 chances to dock with the station. He carefully adjusted the control handles and began the first docking attempt under the watch of everyone. But the first docking attempt still failed. After all, countless cosmonauts in the simulator had tried hundreds of times without a single success. The commander told Mir to rest for the moment, while he discussed new strategies with the team. Meanwhile, Victor calculated the numbers and discovered something critical. Their spacecraft needed to accelerate to triple its speed when they were still 110 meters away in order to dock. But if the docking failed, the spacecraft would be shattered, and both of them would be sent straight to heaven. Before Mir even received official orders, he decided on his own to attempt a second manual docking. However, the station and the spacecraft were both moving extremely fast. Even the smallest mistake during docking could result in catastrophic destruction.
Гаси скорость, врежемся!
After a series of flawless maneuvers by Mir, he achieved what was considered impossible in space history, a successful manual docking with the station. Then the two entered the interior of the station. They first began absorbing and removing the floating droplets of water. But even after cleaning, the station still had no power, so Mir decided to inspect the outside. After a long search, he finally found the cause. A meteorite had struck the station's sensor, bending and deforming it, which prevented the internal electronic components from functioning. And the sensor's outer shell was extremely hard. Because the screws were embedded deep inside, Mir was unable to remove the casing. And at that moment, they had accidentally missed a single water droplet during the cleanup. It drifted through the station into the spacecraft, eventually landing on the internal electronic components. At that moment, Victor was still inside the spacecraft. The sparks from the short-circuit explosion burned him. Mir tried to rush inside when he saw what happened, but the blast nearly hurled him into the darkness of space.